You're looking at an extremely fast 8800 GT. ThermoIntelligence. Now, here's what happened. A few guys were sitting around and they're like, what do we call this big fan? And then one guy's like, it's smart and cool, so call it the smart cool. And then one of the guys popped up and said, smart cool, no, ThermoIntelligence sounds much cooler. Yes, sounds much cooler. Yes, ThermoIntelligence. It is ThermoIntelligence, one of the smartest cards I've seen. Now, this is an 8800 GT, and they overclock the heck out of this. That's what the guys do at BFG. But this is even faster than the OC2 version, and it's a lot colder. Now, versus a stock clocked single slot card, this thing can be 30 degrees Celsius cooler. 30 degrees Celsius cooler. That's unbelievable. And there's also overhead to overclock it even more. Let's talk about what they've done with this one. All right, now they pushed this one to 700 versus 600 on the stock. And the memory, it's 512 megabytes of GDDR3, and they've pushed that to 2000 versus 1800, so 200 megahertz higher on that. That's the effective clock. 112 stream processors, and those run at 1728 versus 1500. 1728, they really pushed it. That's like 228 higher, but you can tell they really pushed it because it's not like a round number. It's not 1700, it's not 1730, it's 1728. So they got it at just the right number. That's cool. And above and beyond all that, it's a 256-bit card, 64 gigabytes per second. That's the bandwidth. And it's nice and cool. It's going to take up 2 slots in your PC right there, as you can see, thanks to the cooling unit there. But it stays really cold. I'm in disbelief because it doesn't even cover the entire card, just mainly where the GPU is. But looks nice. It glows as well. Look at this. Yes, to spin that thing. You can feel how cold it is. Well, not really. All right, benchmarks. Let's go straight into that. Unreal Tournament 3, 1600 by 1200. We benchmarked this with the Core 2 Duo, the old E6600. Now, how fast is it with that one? Well, with this graphics card, that CPU, 129 frames per second at 1600 by 1200. Now, the 8800 GTX, the big dog, that's 127 frames per second. So this overclocked 8800 GT is faster than the 8800 GTX. That's awesome. 3870 is at 121 frames a second. So that one's in there playing with the big boys as well. How about BioShock 1920 by 1200? No anti-aliasing, but we turned the anisotropy filtering up to 16. Now, this card is at 69 frames a second. The stock clock 8800 GT is at 57 frames a second, and the 8800 GTX is at 62 frames a second. So you can see there the GTX is faster than the stock clocked 8800 GT, but this is quite a bit faster than the 8800 GTX, and it runs colder, and it uses less power. A lot colder and a lot less power. How much power? Well, you can get by with, I'd usually recommend a 500 watt power supply. I think they say 400 under the box, I don't know. I'm recommending 500 watts depending on what you have in your system. We do need a 6-pin PCI Express connector, but they have included this in the box. 2 Molex on one side, 6-pin PCI Express on the other. Blam, plug it in, get some power going. On the other side over here, we got 2 of the DVI ports, 2560 by 1600 supported by each of those, and we have 2 of these in the box in case you want to use VGA. DVI on one side, VGA on the other. 2 of those, like I said, in the box. S-Video right there on the side, and we also have this cable. That's S-Video on one side and component on the other. And you can get 1080i over to your display of choice with that cable. All in all, a very cool card, extremely cool. And you might have seen the video on the 9600G with the ThermoIntelligence as well. This one is a bit faster. I mean, of course, it's in a different price range, but if you got the money and you can swing it, this is an awesome card. Beats the 8800 GTX in just about every test I've seen, so incredible. And it runs so cold, you're liable to get frostbite if you put this against your face. Maybe not. Check out this card. I'll see you next time. Oh, by the way, it supports SLI. That's all you need to know. But not tri-SLI. End of the video. For more information on the BFG 8800 GT OCX with ThermoIntelligence cooling, go to CompUSA.com and type B52-8812 or call 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 1-800-CompUSA.